Hello, I am here. I probably need to wait for literally any viewers. Viewers or chat activity before I really get into what we will be doing today. Alright, I think I'm gonna go ahead and get started. Ooh, my swarm fires just shipped. Lovely. Yay. Alright, so let us commence the stream. Um, this is going to be a Nerf Elite tier list based on the poll. I honestly thought this was going to be an End Strike tier list. Then I checked the poll last night, and Elite was winning rather than End Strike because End Strike was actually winning at first. Well, let's get into it then. All right. Let us get going. So I'm going to be doing a... Oh, here, hold on, let me go to broadcast. Hey, look at that. There's my OBS infinitely repeating. All right. So I'm doing a tier list. It is going to be of the Nerf Elite series. I have this one. This tier list. Oh, I don't want Opera mods. Oh, no. Opera, come on. Love you, but come on. This one was made by this user, I guess Filippo Dunn. If that's wrong, I'm sorry. Um, and yeah, so I'm ranking 38 blasters, and they put them in alphabetical order. So I almost kind of wanted to do them in release order, but this list shows the Hailfire was the first elite blaster. When, yeah, it was actually the Rampage Retaliator and Stockade that were the first ones released under Elite. Um, this is mainly going to be cosmetic. I will delve into function, but I am not the biggest like function and modding nut in the hobby. Um, if you want a, oop, no, there we go. If you want a like function-based and mod potential and competitive-based tier list, you can go watch. I think Walcom S7 did a stream on it. But no, yeah, we are. We're mainly just doing cosmetic. I will bring up function, but it's not going to be my biggest selling point here. Um, so yeah, go ahead and grab your snacks, and we shall start. I've got my snacks. I've got my gamer sups. Not sponsored, but I don't care. Oh, all right. We will start with the Retaliator. Um, yeah, whenever... I don't know. Why am I delaying this? Am I delaying for more viewers? I don't know. But, yeah. I'm sorry. I know I'm delaying yet again. Okay, let's get it going. Starting with the Retaliator. Retaliator. Look at that. Um, I like the Retaliator. I think it's a pretty good blaster in terms of like design. I think in terms of just like general cool factor that it was a bit of a downgrade from the Recon, but I think overall it was a pretty good blaster. Um, I don't have a Retaliator. I never have had a Retaliator. Um, so I can't really give any input on performance. Um, there's a lot of these blasters that I just kind of didn't own because one, they were before I got into Nerf, because I got into Nerf in about I really got into Nerf in 2016. Um, and so a lot of blasters before that I don't really know much about. And so I will put the Retaliator in. Honestly, I'll put the Retaliator in A tier because I like the design. I like the profile of it. Next up is the Rampage, which I do have. The magazine only being on the left side makes it slightly cumbersome to reload. Uh, because I'm left-handed. Now, if I were right-handed, that wouldn't be a problem, but I am left-handed, so it is a problem. But it's not even really a big problem. And the fact that it still comes with a drum, kind of like the Raider used to, except it's not a 35 round drum, it's a 25 round drum. Um, I think it's pretty neat. Other than that, I don't really have any comments on it. It's nice. I just wish it came with a stock, but that's not going to dock any points from it. I'm going to put it on A above the Retaliator because I like it probably better than I would the Retaliator. I mainly like the Retaliator because of nostalgia. My first blaster was the Recon Mark II, so I'm going to, I guess, what's it called? Nostalgia bias. I'm going to be a little more lenient towards Recons in terms of, yeah, I guess, design and stuff. I'm going to try not to be. I'm going to try to judge everything fairly, but uh, I may have a slight Recon bias. Um, and what's one's next? The Stockade. Now, I recently came into acquisition of the Stockade, actually. Where's it at? Stockade. There's the Stockade. Um, and I really like the Stockade, except one thing about the Stockade that kind of bugs me is that rev switch. The fact that and I mean this was carried over from the original Barricade having the rev switch be on the side instead of a secondary trigger is weird. And also it's another thing of they only put it on the left side because this is back when Hasbro thought everybody in the world was right-handed. Um, I mean, that's really kind of my only thing with the stockade is the rev switch is just really weird. But other than that, it's a pretty solid blaster. I didn't think it needed a stock, but the stock that came with it is pretty good. So we'll put it in A tier, around the Retaliator. Oh, no, I hate hitting buttons. Eh. Next is the 2013. Oh wait, yeah, the Hailfire. Um, oh, hi, Scary Red Apple. I probably will put the Shell Strike in A or S, but you'll have to wait to see the Shell Strike until we get to 2019 when the Shell Strike was released. But if you want to sit and get comfy and watch the rest of the stream, you can. But yeah, the Hailfire's next. I never had a Hailfire, but my good friend had a Sonic Ice Hailfire. And there was one time when I was younger, I went over to his house and we plinked around with his Nerf blasters and we used the Hailfire, and I had a lot of fun with the Hailfire. So I think I'm gonna throw the Hailfire up in a, well, maybe B, because it's big and it's unwieldy, and it gets more unwieldy the more ammo you put in it, which is kind of its gimmick. And with it being, I'm just realizing this, with it being just basically shot in the foot by its own gimmick, it's kind of meh. Like it's kind of okay in that regard. But the cool factor is huge with the Hailfire. Holding 8 magazines, and I mean, it comes with like 4 6 round magazines, but being able to hold up to like 8 18 round magazines, or even if you get like the worker mod 22 round curved mags, it's really nice for onboard capacity, but holding all of that in magazines can be a bit cumbersome, especially to reload. Because, like, most cases out of 10, you're only going to have like 2 full loads. Because most people can only carry up to like 8 mags on their person. Like, and that's big people. That's big people like me. So, yeah, the Hailfire goes a little lower. The cool factor is massive, though. Like, that is a blaster that I'm going to pull up and be like, I'm going to intimidate the hell out of you with this blaster. I'm going to look badass doing it. This is the cool blaster, you know? And I mean, it was the first Elite flagship, so that makes sense. What's next? Yeah. Alpha Trooper! Hey, another one I actually own. Well, I don't own the original Elite Alpha Trooper. Well, I know the original was the End Strike Alpha Trooper, but I don't own the Elite Alpha Trooper CS12 or the Alpha Trooper CS6. I actually own the Accu Trooper, which was the Alpha, or not Alpha Strike, the Accu Strike remake of the Alpha Trooper. And I like it. Um, I like how it kind of formed a legacy for itself, basically becoming the platform of the Pro Blasters. Um, and it's really nifty. It's really neat. Uh, I don't really have many problems with it aside from the fact that I can't use a lot of different stocks on it without it being too long, but that's just a me issue. I'm tall and I have normal sized arms. So, yeah. I'm gonna put it in honestly A. It's fun to use, but it does kind of get well, B, A or B. I'm gonna put it in B. I know it's it's a crime putting the Alpha Trooper in anything other than S in most nerfers. You know what? A. A. It's really fun, but it just gets boring over time because it's just that same sort of pump action, like standard magazine, front pump type platform that's just it just gets a little boring. I and I know that's weird of me, but it does. It gets a wee bit boring. Next is the Fire Strike. I don't own a Fire Strike, but my dad actually had a Night Finder when I was a very young child, and I did enjoy the Night Finder, and I feel like I would enjoy the Fire Strike. And I mean, it's a single shot pistol. You can't really say much about it. I'm gonna put it in B tier. I like the ergos of the or not the ergos. I like the design of the Night Finder better, but the Fire Strike is nifty. All right, here you go. The Rapid Strike. I I also never owned a Rapid Strike. I mean, I didn't own a lot of Elite Blasters because I got into like I said, I got into Nerf in 2016, and my parents didn't like buying me much in terms of toys. If I was a lot of times if I was buying toys, I was buying it with my own money, and so I was never able to get a Rapid Strike. Um, uh, yeah, that is true, Scary Red Apple. I've seen a lot of good stuff about it. Like remember Coop 772's old Rapid Strike mod? I think it was called like the Dahmer or something, where he made a Rapid Strike Swarmfire integration. Um, and it was really, really neat. Hello, Brayden. Hey, welcome to the stream. Um, but yeah, yeah, like it says in the first message, feel free to discuss amongst yourselves, and I will read all of chat. I keep my chat beside me. Um, yeah, mods on the Rapid Strike are cool. You just have to have a lot of knowledge to be able to mod it. Not just because it's a flywheeler in general, but because it's also full auto on top of that. And Being Nerf's first full auto blaster that wasn't a Springer is pretty nifty. It has a good fire rate by itself. The 18 round clear mags are also pretty cool. Um, you know what? I think we might have our first S tier. If I had a rapid strike, I don't think I would ever get bored of it. I mean I got a Vulcan recently and I've never gotten bored of it. Oh, it's your first time ever being announced? Well, hey, it's the first time for everything. Um, yeah, hey, what's up, Brayden, Scary Red Apple, our little, my little commenters, I don't, I don't have a name for my fans. Um, I don't know. I know a lot of people have like names for their fans, like Fillion has her snackers, um, and other YouTubers have other names for their collective group of fans. I don't know. If y'all have an idea for a name for my collective body of follower, well, I don't like using the term fans or followers. Y'all are my community. Oh, nice. Hey, welcome to the show. Um, this is gonna be a wild, wild ride. But yeah, anyways, I guess a little side tangent. I don't like the term fans or followers when referring to people that subscribe and follow me. Y'all are my community because that's what I like to do. I've always liked the more community building side of content creation and the whole like just artistic side of just like this is me sharing my talent. And because I I don't have I'm not going to say like I don't have a filter, but when it comes to my content, I don't have a filter. How you see me act in my content is how I act normally. I am a very silly person. Um, I love making jokes. I love doing silly stuff. I like gimmick stuff. I love Bakugan. I love Nerf. I love video games. And yeah, y'all aren't really my followers or my fans. Y'all are my community. And that's what I like because it's really more about building community with me and just being a safe space for people to pursue their interests and stuff like that. Um, anyways, enough sappy philosophical nonsense. Um, let's talk about the next blaster already, the Raven. Uh, what do I know about the Raven? I know the only reason why people actually like the Raven is to completely butcher the shell to make Stravens with the Strife. Other than that, I I like the Raven, but I mean I like bullpups. I mean this is me with like especially guns and video games. I love me a good bullpup. It's one of the reasons why I like Halo's weapon designs so much is because a lot of their rifles are bullpup. They're, the assault rifle, the bandit, the DMR, the battle rifle. A lot of Halo's weapons are bullpup, and I like bullpups. I think they're neat. And I like the Raven. My issue though with the Raven is oh, my dogs are going crazy. Is why is it so tiny? And like you don't have like What I see with the Raven is like a tiny blaster with no place to put my offhand. Uh, no, I do not play Call of Duty. I refuse to play Call of Duty. I'm not a big fan of like the real gritty, militaristic shooters. I like sci-fi. I like stuff like that. I like cartoony stuff. Now, I mean, I'm not going to put anyone down for being a Call of Duty fan because I know that's just a weird thing of mine is I'm not a big fan of Call of Duty's theming, and I'm also um, I don't overly like playing games where you have such easy access to a highly, highly toxic community, which Call of Duty is infamous for. But I have seen a lot of designs from Call of Duty, and they have some really good weapons, especially the accuracy with a lot of their weapons is really good, and the ray gun. The old COD Zombies ray gun is one of the coolest laser blaster designs in the history of gaming. But back to the Raven. I'm just not a big fan of the ergos of the Raven. I would add like the Recon or Retaliator barrel to the Raven. Um, but then there comes the issue of it already has a pretty long barrel, and adding a lot more onto that would just create a lot of barrel drag, which I know is a problem with the real tight end strike barrels is having that barrel drag. So just because of ergonomic problems, I think the Raven is going to be in C tier, and also the fact I've never owned one, so I don't have any experience with the Raven. What's up, Cubing Bro Infinity? Hello, welcome to the stream, welcome to the show. I'm ranking Nerf Elite Blasters. This is my tier list so far. Um, yeah. OG COD is pretty good. Yeah, the first C tier. Just because lack of experience and just the ergonomics, from what I can tell, are pretty mid. Also, I don't like the bulging battery tray on that glow strike mag. Hold on, I think I've been summoned. Give me a second. I'll be right back. I'm back. Sorry about that. My family was out eating, and they brought me back a very large roast beef sub. That is Chonky chonky. Yeah. Got me some streaming food. And so we are set to go and continue on our tier list. Oh Lord. Messages, messages. Yeah. Yeah, honestly, if I were to play like anything Call of Duty, I would probably play like one of the Black Ops games, and I would primarily play zombies. Just because I do like zombie survival stuff. But I think, like, don't you have to play multiplayer to progress and unlock guns and stuff? If I recall correctly. Alright. That blows. Anyways, the Spectre! I really want a Spectre. I don't have a Spectre. I really want a Spectre. I've seen the Spectre on eBay, and I do want to pick one up. I know the Spectre also got re-released in Elite 2.0, but I do want to get either the Elite Spectre or the original End Strike Spectre. The Spectre is pretty cool. It was kinda Hasbro basically re-released the Maverick and fixed what they messed up on. And yeah, it's pretty neat. I like that it has a barrel and stock attachment point. Um, I like the Elite 2.0 Commander for the same reason. The 5-shot capacity was a little weird because, like, I think the Spectre definitely has enough space for a 6-round cylinder. But other than that, I'll put it in a solid B tier. Oh yeah, and I've heard the stock is absolutely atrocious. Yeah, Spectre is B tier. What came next? Strong Arm. Strong Arm, where are you? Strong Arm, S tier. S tier. Best Nerf pistol ever. I know I sound like I'm like really glazing the Strong Arm, but honestly, it set the standard for the Nerf pistol. And you know, that's why almost every dart or ball blasting pistol, well, not really ball blasting pistol, the Chronos set the standard for ball blasting pistols. But the Strong Arm definitely set the standard for dart blasting pistols. I mean, look at every pistol that came out afterwards. The Disruptor, the Hammer Shot, even. Like, it was just a hammer primed strong arm with 5 shots. So I guess more of a hammer primed Spectre, but still. Like, the Commander, the Agility, the Dart Zone Blitzfire, the X Shot Reflex. A lot of those are strong arm reshells, pretty much. That's why. Because the strong arm is the new standard. It's the cool one, you know? And it's got a really sleek design, too. Alright, Strife. Strife time. Alright, this is probably one of the hottest takes in the Nerf community. The Strife is B tier at best. If this was a long time before this, it would probably be an A or S. But the Strife is so generic. Like, it was about like 2018. I started calling the Strife pretty much the everyman's Nerf gun because the Strife is the everyman's Nerf gun. It is so generic. Now, it's iconic, but it's so generic. It's a great secondary, it's a great primary, but I'm not ranking this entirely off of function and purpose. Cool factor, visual design, and a lot of other stuff goes into this. It is too generic for me to feel just by putting it higher. And that's why so many people make Stravens. That's why so many people make other stuff with Strifes integrated. Is because it's so generic. It's good. It's amazing. But it's generic. It is very, very generic. You know what? Maybe I was a little harsh. Yeah, I'll put it in A tier. I'll put it in bottom A. Like high B, low A. I'm also going to put the Spectre above the Hailfire in B. Put the Alpha Trooper up here. Below the Stockade, but... Yeah, that's just my only problem with the Strife, is it's just too terribly generic. I'm sorry. Triad. Triad, what may I say about the Triad? It is a 3-shot jolt that looks like a triangle. Where's the Triad? There's the Triad. Where do I want to place the Triad? Top of B. It's probably the best pocket pistol you can have in Nerf. Either that or like the Zombie Strike Double Strike. It just doesn't do much. It's not like it doesn't reach out and grab you. It's a very simplistic blaster, which is great. Like a lot of people like simplistic blasters, but that can also hold it back in a ranking like this where cool factor, legend status, and all that really kind of outshines general purpose. I actually have a triad. I uh I do have a triad. I got an Elite XD triad from Target once. First Nerf blaster I ever bought from Target. And I painted it up to look like a Minecraft Nether portal. But I was also terrible at painting things. So yeah, there's the triad. Okay. Oh God. Let's talk about this thing. What is up with the Nerf cam? So, the Nerf cam is an oversized strife with a built-in, very crappy camera. Like, I've seen footage taken from the Nerf cam. It is not a good camera. But I mean, like, you're not gonna put a super amazing, like 1080p 4K camera in a Nerf blaster and run it off of like 4C batteries or something. Like, I don't even think 4K existed back in. When was this released? 2014. It was like I think it was like the first blaster released in 2015. 2014, I mean. It's it's fine. It just doesn't do much. Again, well, not it doesn't do much. It's not a good bang for your buck because back when the Nerf cam first came out, it retailed for $100. Like I right? Am I correct? Where's the Nerf cam price? $75 US for an oversized strife with a terrible camera. Honestly, I kind of agree with you, Apple. I'm gonna put it in D tier. It looks cool, but just the amount, the absolute, the price compared to what it did. Like, at least make it a rapid strike. Like, at least make it a reshelled rapid strike if you're gonna sell it for $75. All right, what's next? Demolisher. The Demolisher is weird. Very, very weird. Now, it did do a cool, innovative thing of being, it was the first Nerf blaster with to come with a curved mag. Hold on. Didn't it also come with, like, the first ever 10-round mag? Ugh. Why does the Nerf Wiki call it a clip? I am cringing. My whole entire upper body is cringing. Yeah, I think it was the first instance of a 10-round mag. And so that was nice. It was also the first instance of the Nerf missile, which earned the nomenclature, I think that's the proper term, of the missiles being called the Demolisher missile. Because the first blaster it came with was the Demolisher. Braden, you were probably using Elite Darts. I think the best darts to run through any blaster are off-brand accurate darts, like Adventure Force waffle darts or Dart Zone Nitro Shot darts. Run them through it, and it'll improve the accuracy. Definitely. And even with that, flywheelers are a little less accurate in general than springers because you're not closing a full-on bolt or breach around the dart. You're just pushing it through two diametrically spinning wheels. So yeah, I'm not going to judge it based on accuracy with elite darts because elite darts just suck in general for accuracy. Um, Definitely try to run some Adventure Force waffle darts through it if you're wanting better accuracy. The Demolisher has the cool factor of just like being a blaster with a master key, a built-in uh, a built-in rocket launcher, built-in grenade launcher thing, but it's C tier. The ergonomics are so janky. Like, why did they make the blaster so tall? Then put a massive missile launcher underneath it. Then put like a massive missile launcher underneath that. And then put the massive pump grip for the grenade launcher underneath it. And that massive pump grip underneath the massive machine or grenade launcher on the bottom of the very tall blaster is your only form of front grip. It's C tier. Alright. The Rhino Fire. What can be said about the Rhino Fire? What can be said about the Rhino Fire? The Rhino Fire is... Oh, what, the Demolisher or the Rhino Fire? Scary Red. Now, the Rhino Fire was neat in that it had the actuating barrels, the alternating magazines, and the fact that it came with two drums was pretty cool. And then the fact you could put 35 round drums in it to make the capacity even bigger. And then, yeah, it's like a tripod mounted, like machine gun that you would mount on like a tank or a military vehicle. But it was basically kind of like the evolved version of the Vulcan, but in my opinion, worse. Like, I feel like with the Rhino Fire, they leaned way too much into the mounted turret vibe. From what I've heard, you cannot comfortably hold this thing and wield it like a heavy machine gun, like you can with the Vulcan. And also, it has a two-stage trigger. I hate two-stage triggers. Um, but the cool factor is definitely there. I think the Rhino Fire is going to be in B. Above the Hailfire, below the Spectre, solid B. Yeah, it takes 6D batteries. The old Vulcan took 6D batteries as well. Have you ever seen the 50 cals on Army? Yeah, yeah. The Vulcan and the Rhino Fire were definitely kind of meant for that by Hasbro. But the Vulcan also had the option of having that easy grip handle on the front to be wielded like a heavy machine gun. I've never owned a Rhino Fire, but I think I remember I held one at a Goodwill once when I was a child. Didn't like it. I've heard from people on YouTube that it's very uncomfortable to hold the Rhino Fire. But no, I've never had a Rhino Fire. A friend of mine at work has a Demolisher. Has two Demolishers, actually. And I thought about getting one off of him, and I don't own a Demolisher. I probably should be clarifying the ones I own. Um, the Side Strike I'm skipping over because the Side Strike is Zombie Strike. And they didn't really change anything in the Elite version except for removing the what's it called? Like, removing the holster that it came with. So it would get docked points for that anyways. The Crossbolt. The second ever bullpup blaster that Nerf has ever released. The Crossbolt. So why is the Battle Scout here? I'm not ranking the Battle Scout in this video, or this stream. Because the Battle Scout is modulus. But yeah. This thing right here, the Crossbolt, is it's one of Nerf's only, like, actual stringers. And I think it's the only stringer that fires darts. If I recall correctly. Because I think all the other stringers shoot some sort of arrow or missile. Like, I know the Zombie Strike Dreadbolt and Wrathbolt are stringers, and they shoot the old Rebel arrows. Um, but the Crossbolt is overall a fine blaster. Like, it definitely has one thing I would consider better than the Raven, and that's that it actually has a front end that you can hold on to. Um, but other than that, I heard I've heard, I've never owned a crossbolt, but I've heard that the crossbolt had hella feeding issues. So, and apart from it just like looking weird as well, I'm going to put it in C tier. Bottom C. Next is the Jolt. That's the end strike Jolt. Do I rank the Jolt? Do I rank the Elite Jolt? Jolt is D tier. It's an alright pocket pistol, but it was memed to hell and a very annoying meme at that. Not a big fan of the Jolt reskin meme. Not a big fan of the Jolt reskin meme. The Split Strike. There it is. Now the Split Strike. I mean, it's two double-barreled side strikes, or not side strikes, fire strikes that you slap together and they stick. And they can either be used as two pistols or one shotgun pistol, which is neat. And I know I heard like in some older videos. Oh, I have hiccups. Cripe. Cripe. Where's my Dr. Pepper? I have hiccups. Don't drop my headphones. Anyways, I have heard of like I've seen videos, like older videos of people wanting to remove the smart air restrictor in the split strike and beef up the spring so that they can pop them together and just make a giant dual plunger forward arch shotgun pistol, which is really neat, and I don't know if anybody ever succeeded in that. But other than that, it's really neat. It looks big and beefy. I never had one, but I'm going to put it in high B. Because it doesn't really do much, but what it does do is really, really nifty. What is next? The bow strike is end strike, not elite, for some reason. And is also not on this tier list. But it's pretty generic. It's just a fire strike with bow arms. The dual strike. Now I will be getting a dual strike from eBay soon. I think next week it should be coming in. The dual strike was really neat because it was the first blaster, aside from the Demolisher, to hold multiple ammo types on one blaster. And you can switch between shooting elite darts and mega darts with that little orange switch on the side of the blaster. $20? Jeez. Anyways, but yeah, the dual strike, just it's neat. It's basically a really, really chonky triad slapped on top of a really, really chonky tri-brake. I mean, the Mega tri-brake was already really chonky. So, it has a really, really neat gimmick that Nerf only did a couple of times. I'm going to put it in A tier. I don't own one yet, but I'm looking forward to it. I am putting it middle A tier below the Stockade. The Hyperfire. The Hyperfire is on this list. There it is. The Hyperfire is really cool because I think if I recall correctly, oh really, the Hyperfire? How is it? Because I I've heard it's not really great ergonomic wise, but I really want one because it looks really, really pretty. And I've heard it fires pretty well as well, aside from it taking like 4C batteries. The grip is a bit weird. It looks like it is, but it looks like that wouldn't really matter because it would be really fun to shoot. What would your personal placement of the Hyperfire be? Uh, Scary Red. A? Yeah, I think A would be pretty solid. Like, I'm gonna put it uh above the dual strike. Do you think? You think above the dual strike would be a fair placement for the Hyperfire? Sup, cubing bro? Right now, I'm gonna put it above the dual strike. I The Pocket Strike isn't on this ranking, but I would probably put it in C. Um, the Sharpfire is next. Now, the Sharpfire is another one I'm about to get. I don't have one. I'm going to get one soon. I really like the Sharpfire. I think it's really, really neat having the stock in the barrel and the stock being able to hold a bunch of darts. Um, I kind of wish the stock wasn't proprietary. Like, I wish the Sharpfire stock could be used as an N-Stripe stock, but other than that, it looks really neat. Heard it functions pretty well. Um, when I get one in from eBay, I want to throw a spring in it. I want to throw a better spring in it, and I kind of want to see if I could fix the crossbow prod from either the Outbreaker bow or the Crossfire bow onto it and make it like a ballista. Make it look like a ballista. What you can do next, Rival Omega? Um, if I don't decide, then I will probably run another poll. Because this video, this topic of Elite actually won a poll on my community tab. The mod will look crazy cool. Yeah, I just don't know how I would attach like a crossfire bro, but a crawler, a crossfire. Oh my lord, a crossfire crossbow prod. I don't know how I would attach that to the Sharpfire, but I do want to make it a ballista. So yeah, Sharpfire, really nifty and neat. I will put it in bottom of A. No, above the Strife. I hold by my opinion on the Strife. The Snapfire. Ew? It, ew? Much? On the Snapfire? Like, why is it so ugly? And why does it look like it would be a nightmare to to shoot or like to hold? Ew. That is an ick. I've never had a Snapfire, but it looks like it would just be like so uncomfortable to hold. I don't know why it looks so like eh. I don't know. I don't like it. I feel bad for the Jolt now. They took a Jolt and they just mangled it into something unrecognizable. Or even like the... No, because this is even more of a Fire Strike. I just saw the T-pole on the back and thought Jolt. But no, this is more like a Fire Strike. Where's the Snapfire? That is F tier. That is... Well, the thing, Brandon, is even 3D printed blasters look better. It looks cheap. How cheap is it? What is the price of this thing? Oh, okay, it's $5. Makes sense. It's $5. But still, ew, F tier, nasty. Most 3D printed blasters look better than it. I don't know why y'all are comparing it to 3D printed blasters. 3D printed blasters are better. Like, have you seen stuff like Caliburns and whatnot? Like, if you take it out too early, like an unfinished 3D printed blaster is what it looks like. Oh, that's funny. That's very funny. Where's the? I just noticed. Where's the rough cut on this list? The rough cut isn't even on this list. Hold up. Hold up. Wait, hold on. Oh, 2013. Oh, that's why. Because the wiki doesn't state it being released under Nerf Elite. Instead, it was released under Multi-Shot Madness, which wasn't even a real, like, thing. Because all Multi-Shot Madness was just the rough cut and the Diatron. But no, let's rank the rough cut, because I should have done it a long time ago. Rough cut is S tier. The rough cut is my favorite Elite Blaster. I love the rough cut. It's so cool. I love the rough cut. It is, in my opinion, one of the best blasters they've ever released. Just cool factor out the wazoo. It's a shotgun. It has slam fire. It shoots 2 darts at once. It is everything the barrel break wishes it could be. The rough cut is amazing. I had two in my life, and I broke both of them because I had them back when I was a younger child, and I was not kind to my rough cuts as a child. I want to collect all the rough cuts. I want to have the normal one. I want to have the zombie strike ones. I want to have the white one and the battle camo rough cut. Uh, I want the rough cut. I want more rough cuts. I want to run a loadout where my secondary is just 5 rough cuts on a sling. That would be so impractical, but it would be so fun at the same time. Yeah, I find it funny how how like, this list has a modulus blaster on it, which is funny. Anyways, um, where's the list here? Where did I leave off? I was just on the Snapfire, wasn't I? Right? Was I on the Snapfire? The rough cuts were very much loved. I loved using the rough cuts. I loved uh, I loved shooting the rough cut at my family members. I loved messing around with it. Rough cut is one of my favorite blasters of all time, and definitely my favorite elite blaster. The rough cut is really cool. The Stratabow. You know, honestly, I found when I found out the Stratabow existed, I was like, "What?" I was like, "What? The elite bow?" F in the chat for rough cuts. But but an S in the tier list. No, you know what? No, you know what? Oh, no, wait, hold on. That's not right. That's S. Oh, no, that's S. That's orange. This is red. Sorry about that. Yep, I'm making the rough cut its own tier. Um, yeah, the rough cut ascends to a tier higher than S. Yes, I made an entire section for the rough cut. I'm not sorry. I It has ascended above S tier. Um, anyways. The Stratobow. The Stratobow is really weird looking. It is a 14 dart, like, harmonica clip thing, bow thing. I don't know. I think the Stratobow looks really, really weird. I like how they turned a bow into a functioning primary, but it's really weird putting it in C tier below the crossbolt. Because even the crossbolt makes sense. Didn't go so well. Oh yeah, was it like really bad? Was the Stratobow like really bad? Next is the Disruptor, which putting it in C tier, putting it above the Crossbolt. I'm putting the Disruptor above the Crossbolt because I don't know. I just I don't think they needed to improve the strong. But it takes a. It's like a strong arm. Yeah, but it removes every part of the strong arm that was actually cool. Like, I like the dropout cylinder. I like I like just how smooth it felt. I like how chunky it felt. Just being there. I don't think they needed to improve what the strong arm already had. Because I mean, that's obviously why they released the Disruptor, was to make what is essentially the strong arm but better, but I don't feel like they succeeded. I feel like they should have kept the dropout cylinder, because it's just like, I don't know, it looks weird, and it looks like it's more comfortable. They made it more functional but less fun. Yeah, yeah. I guess you can reload it faster because of the open face cylinder. But like, I don't know. I just I don't I can't say I don't like it, because I like it. It's just the disruptor didn't need to exist. But it sure does, and it makes it everybody's problem. Like a world without the disruptor would have been a perfectly fine functioning world. But yeah. I'm not doing the Raven Fire because the Raven Fire is just a Raven. The Delta Trooper. What can I say about the Delta Trooper that isn't just, it's a thing? It exists. It's it's it doesn't have a purpose to exist, because the Retaliator was already a perfectly fine blaster that they didn't need to re-release and make it look worse. Ah! I am never going to understand why people liked the Delta Trooper so much. Because, like, like, it's it's just so weird looking. It looks, you can't mount an optic on it. It doesn't even have sights. Like the Retaliator had a front post on the barrel. It looks so whack. Like, eh. I do not like the Delta Trooper. Don't like it. Never really have liked it. It's going in D tier. below the jolt. I would say the jolt goes above the cam. Saying they both go above the cam because it's functional. It's good in terms of function. But all they did is they just re-released the Retaliator, made it look weird, and didn't improve anything. No point to existence. No point for it to exist. Like the like the disruptor at least had an improvement from the strong arm in terms of like function because it had the open face cylinder. You didn't have to the pop the cylinder out of the side to be able to reload. You could reload faster and all that. But it didn't make any But the Delta Trooper doesn't make any improvements to the Retaliator. In fact, it comes with less, and I think it costs the same. Wait, hold on. How much did the Retaliator cost? $26.99. All right. How much did the Delta Trooper cost? $30. The Retaliator costed $27 back in 2012. The Retaliator costed $27. The Delta Trooper costs 30. Gives you less. Yeah. No, we're going in D tier. We're going in D tier, buddy. Anyways, next is the Infamous. The Infamous was really, really cool. The Infamous is really cool because it had that mechanic of the auto loader in the back. Like you feed darts in and it takes them and it loads them into the magazine, so you didn't have to reload. No, the Delta Trooper came with less stuff. The Retaliator just had the blaster stock. The Retaliator had the blaster stock barrel, foregrip, and a 12-round mag. The Delta Trooper just had the blaster stock barrel and 10-round mag. It didn't come with a foregrip. They gave you less and charged you more. Not to mention the Retaliator actually has a rail on the blaster, and the Delta Trooper doesn't. I don't even think the Delta Trooper has... Oh no, the Delta Trooper has a rail on the barrel. But anyways. Infamous! Infamous was a big, big chunky blaster. Nice triangle handguard thing. I like the Infamous. I like the loading mechanic. I like its full auto. I like the Infamous. The Infamous is neat. But, the auto-loading thing was super cool. It wasn't practical by any stretch of the imagination, but it was definitely more, like, viable for humans versus zombies, because you could actually, like, pick up darts off the ground and just feed it into the feeder in the back. Um, Other than that, it wasn't really Um, I can't say it wasn't special because it is. It's a rapid strike with some extra cooler stuff, but it's just kind of there. Like it never really got much recognition, the Infamous, and I feel like it deserved more recognition. Honestly, I'm gonna put it. I'm gonna put it in low A. I'm gonna put the Infamous in low A. What's the Hyperfire $30? I'm about to fact check you so hard. Hyperfire was $50 when it released. But anyways, yeah, that was just. Mm, yeah, the Hyperfire was 50 when it released. Other than that, anyways, Nanofire. C tier? The Nanofire is a thing that exists. Never seen it in my life. No, that's not true. I saw it at Kroger the other day. But still, very, very weird. Very weird. All right, Scout Mark II. The Scout Mark II. Um, they just kind of took the concept from the Quadrant, the Alpha, or not Alpha, not Alpha Strike, AccuStrike Quadrant, and they made it an Elite Blaster, which is sure, neat, very neat, very neat. It's going in C tier above the Crossbolt because it's actually kind of cool. Um, Surge Fire. Surge Fire, Surge Fire. I, I literally know nothing about the Nano Fire. I couldn't could not be bothered to learn. Yeah, I know. The It's weird though. The Nano Fire is weird. All right, Surge Fire time. Um, what can I say about the Surge Fire? From what I heard, it was a great concept, but a mid execution. The big issue being that the drum was too heavy for the Surge Fire, so it like skipped darts a lot because the retention mech was too weak for the drum. Uh, Other than that, it looks cool. Bottom B. All right, we are on to our last few. The Thunder. When was the Thunder Blast released? Oh, 2015. And of course it says it's End Strike. The Thunder Blast was elite, obviously.
It's blue.
Um, what is my opinion on the Thunder Blast? They took the Demolisher's rocket launcher, made it massive, and released it as a standalone blaster. Uh, uh, put it with the Demolisher. It's neat, but not worth what I'm sure they charged for it. Anyways, next is I'm not going to do the Strife CQ10 because it's just the normal Strife. The Sure Strike, which is just a zombie strike clear shot. Okay. Yeah, you know what? You know what? I'm I'm tired. Well, not really. Um, you know what? You know what? You know what? It's cool that it comes with a red dot. You know what? I'm gonna put it up here with the Fire Strike. You know what? I like it better than the Fire Strike. I like that aesthetic better than the Fire Strike. I'm putting it there. Um, that that's just the quadrant. Is it an Elite XD Rampage? Why does that look cursed? Anyways, Recon CQ12. No, you want to talk cursed? They took the Recon Mark II, removed the stock, shoved a 12 round magazine in it, and sold it for, what, 50 bucks? Didn't they sell it for like 50 bucks? $40. Mm, I'm sorry, but my recon bias is not saving this one. It is D tier. Putting it above the Delta Trooper because I like actual recons better. You are not a real recon. Ruckus, ICS 8. Uh, Banana. No. Other than the clip looking like a banana, and this is an actual clip. It's not a magazine. It has its own little slots to hold the darts. It does not is not a spring-loaded magazine. It is an actual indexing harmonica clip. It is just kinda. It is just kinda there. I, middle C. Middle of C. Oh, which one? The Ruckus? Nor the Recon CQ-12. Anyways, next is the Titan CS50. Oh, the most undervolted blaster in the history of Nerf blasters. This blaster was a bit of a failure because it took 4D batteries, which was not giving it enough voltage to power its systems. It's $500. Actually, I think it only costed $100. Was it $100? Yeah, it was only $100. But the Titan is very undervolted. Now, it was meant to hit about 70 feet per second in velocity like any other Elite blasters. But because it was only running off of 4 1.5 volt batteries, so it was only getting 6 volts, the, oh nice. The, issue with it is, sorry, Scary Red. I was intending to look at the prices and have that be like a thing, but it's whatever. Too late now. The thing with the Titan was it was undervolted. It had a flywheel mechanism, the barrel rotation mechanism, and the dart pusher, which I think was a conveyor belt. Now, the Strife, yay, bringing this thing back up, bringing back up the Strife. The Strife can run good elite velocities around 70 FPS. The Strife can run 70 FPS off 6 volts. The Titan, however, also has to run multiple motors. It has to run the 2 motors for the conveyor belt, has to run the 2 motors for the flywheels, and also has to run a motor for the barrel spinning mechanism. Which all of that running off of 6 volts. Yeah, if it were 6D batteries or 6C batteries, like getting up to 9 volts, it would be a lot better, and it would be actually able to hit those velocities. But it was only able to hit like 45 to 50 FPS. Um, so it's gonna go in. It's gonna go in top B. It's really cool, but it just has issues. Bad issues. Next is the Trilogy DS15. I also really like the Trilogy. I think the Trilogy is really, really neat. And I am going to put the Trilogy in high A. High A. It's very satisfying to use. I just wish the shell ejecting mechanism worked better. Like, if the shell ejecting mechanism worked better, it and they, actually made an effort to sell the elite shells. Like, they sold the elite shells, but they sold them in little booster packs. You had to buy them with this stupid attachment as well. Um, Like, if they made an effort to actually sell you the shells by themselves for the trilogy, and the mechanism worked a little better, I would put it in S tier. Do the shells get lost because of the ejection? No, the shells don't necessarily get lost as a direct result of the ejection because it doesn't really kick them out far enough. The shells get lost because of user negligence. Like if the user doesn't like make an effort to like pick up and find and keep their shells, then the shells will get lost. But it's not as a direct result of the shell ejection. I was just saying I wish you could have more shells because, like, if you had more shells, you could put more shots through the blaster before you have to go back and reload all your shells. Because with the blaster by itself, you can only make 5 shots before you have to reload your shells. You have to put darts back into your shells. That's what I was saying with the trilogy. Now for the Shell Strike, the sort of last release of Elite, not counting the stupid Falcon Fire, because the Falcon Fire was AccuStrike. Why did they? I don't know. Shell Strike, Final Blaster. Shell Strike is going in A tier, next to the trilogy. I wish I would have bought a Shell Strike. I wish I could have bought a Shell Strike. I was not able to buy a Shell Strike. The Shell Strike is really neat and nifty, and having an actual, like, it was the first like real shotgun pistol Nerf actually made. Because I mean, you could use the split strike as a shotgun pistol. You could take the ARs out of a lot of like multi air restrictor shotgun pistols. You can buy the shells on Amazon, but they come with this attachment that locks onto the side of that locks onto the blaster to hold the shells. And every time you had to buy shells, you had to buy 3 and that stupid attachment. I just want I honestly just wanted a source where you could just buy bulk trilogy shells. But yeah, the Shell Strike, it does look comfy to handle. It looks really neat. It looks really nice. I want one. If I can find one, I would love to get it. I'd probably have to resort to eBay or getting lucky at Goodwill. But yeah. All right, so let's look at my rankings so far. In rough cut tier, we have
The rough cut.
in S tier, we have the Rapid Strike and the Strong Arm. I was honestly expecting more blasters to be in S tier, but yeah, whatever. In A tier, we have the Rampage, the Trilogy, the Shell Strike, the Retaliator, the Stockade, the Hyperfire, the Dual Strike, the Alpha Trooper, the not Snapfire, ew, the Sharpfire, the Infamous, and the Strife. In B tier, we have the Titan, the Split Strike, the Triad, the Spectre, the Rhino Fire, the Hailfire, the Sure Strike? Yeah, the Sure Strike. The Fire Strike and the Surge Fire. In C tier, we have the Raven, the Thunderblast, the Demolisher, the Disruptor, the Scout Mark II, the Ruckus, the Crossbolts, the Stratobow, and the Nanofire. In D tier, we have the Jolt, the Recon CQ-12, the Delta Trooper, and the Cam. And in F tier, we have the Snapfire, the disgusting thing that it is. Um, I will put up a poll either tonight or tomorrow on what my next um, tier list stream should be, and I might do it next Saturday. I might do it the week after. Who knows? Honestly. Um, and so yeah. Um, yeah. The stream is ending. I will see you all in the next one. Goodbye.